Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a real pleasure to be here in Seoul with you again. This is my second visit in 6 months, and it is a real pleasure to be with all of you. And may I start by thanking you, Ambassador Son Sung-hwan, for inviting me to address you all today, as well as, of course, our friends from WWF, UNGC, and CDP for your support. I'm here in South Korea to discuss COP26, the UN climate conference that we will hold in Glasgow this November. And of course, the progress on climate action that we need to make internationally on the road to Glasgow. I've just had the honor of meeting once again with the former UN Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and we both agreed that COP26 is widely recognized as the most important climate conference for many years. And as its president-designate, I have a very clear aim. And that aim is to put our planet on a path to net zero emissions. Business, of course, has a vital role to play in delivering this aim. And the reality is that the world will not reach net zero emissions without action across the real economy. And that is why the Race to Zero campaign was established. As you will know, this is a global campaign. It was launched last June by the United Nations. And its aim is to get non-state actors such as businesses, cities, regions, and investors and other organizations which join and commit to reduce emissions to net zero by 2050 at the latest on science-based targets, and of course, really importantly, set out short-term goals to take them there. As COP26 President-designate, I'm urging companies around the whole world to sign up to this campaign. And that is why I'm here today to ask you, the business leaders of South Korea, to join the Race to Zero campaign and play your part in forging a clean, green future for all of us. And many of you will recognize that green growth is absolutely possible. It is happening around the world. Let's take the transition to clean energy. Wind and solar power are now cheaper than coal across most of the world. And in the United Kingdom, we have demonstrated that green growth is possible. Over the last 30 years, we have grown our economy by 75%, whilst reducing our emissions by 43%. Together, the world is turning towards its clean, green, low-carbon future. And I'm very pleased to say that 70% of the global economy, 70% of the world GDP, is now covered by net zero or carbon neutral targets. And of course, that is thanks to the commitments made by governments, such as the UK, the US, Japan, China, and of course, in South Korea as well. And I was so very pleased that on the last day of my previous visit to Seoul, we heard President Moon's 2050 net zero commitment, which was hugely welcomed, both from a COP presidency point of view, but of course around the world as well. We need action from businesses to make those net zero targets a reality. But of course, the good news is that that action is happening around the world. In the UK, a third of our largest companies have signed up to the Race to Zero campaign. Globally, 1,700 companies, encompassing some of the largest in the world, with a combined revenue of almost $10 trillion US, have joined this campaign. And this, of course, includes large companies such as Microsoft, Unilever, and Hitachi. However, we do not yet have any major South Korean companies signed up to the Race to Zero campaign. And today, I urge all of you to change that. That is my challenge to you going forward. As some of the largest firms in the country, your influence is enormous, and action from you is absolutely vital if President Moon's ambition for a net zero South Korea by 2050 is to truly succeed. And we need greater action on climate from the most influential Korean firms. We need you at the fore of the green revolution. To strive for a green revolution is not only good for the planet, but it is good for the bottom line. And companies that are not serious about climate action risk getting left behind. Whilst, of course, the green economy presents huge commercial opportunities. Our friends at CDP, the charity that runs the global disclosure system for investors, companies, cities, states, and regions to manage their environmental impacts, tells us that together, 215 of the world's largest companies have almost $1 trillion at risk from climate impacts. And yet, those same companies have the potential for $2 trillion worth of gains from the move to a green economy. Globally, strong climate action could generate over 65 million new carbon jobs in 2030, equivalent to more than the entire workforce of the United Kingdom and South Korea combined. And for a country like South Korea, the opportunities are there for the taking. The world needs to innovate its way to net zero. It needs new technologies and solutions, and yours is one of the most innovative economies on earth. For companies joining the Race to Zero campaign, it is a clear statement that you see the possibilities presented by the green economy and that you are absolutely determined to take and seize those opportunities. And there is a real opportunity here for the first major South Korean companies to sign up. By being the first to join, you can demonstrate your national leadership in this decisive year for climate action, this year of COP26. I know that some companies like POSCO and LG Chem have set out net zero targets, and I salute you for that. That is highly commendable. And I also request that you convert those commitments into the Race to Zero membership. I believe that Race to Zero is the gold standard of corporate climate action internationally. It is a United Nations standards. It is recognized and respected around the world. And let me make this commitment to you. If South Korean firms sign up ahead of the COP26 summit, we will use the UK's presidency and all our platforms to celebrate our new members. We will let the world know that your company is a national leader on climate action. So please, for the sake of your company, for the sake of your country, and for the sake of our planet, join us in the Race to Zero campaign in the run-up to COP26 and play your part in building our clean, green, and prosperous future. Thank you.